Westville, California. Call 800-351-1133. Welcome back here. What's Cooking program nationwide, coast to coast, CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. That's Paul Stern.
Hey, Mike. I know a lot of our audience members are big fans of the Groupon phenomenon. That's that whole internet thing where people are getting discount dining opportunities.
Catching on from what I hear, yes.
Apparently there's been, I guess all is not perfect in Denmark.
What does that have to do with Groupon?
There is something of a Groupon scandal abound that I don't know if our listeners have gotten wind of this one, but Groupon made some kind of an arrangement with FTD Florists, and apparently if you were to go to the FTD Floral site, they actually have the same deal that is being offered by Groupon, but at a better price.
Wow, there you go. I told you, watch out, you Grouponers. It's just they're trying to get your money. So you're saying the website itself, better price?
That is correct. If you went direct to FTD, you'd get a better price. Apparently, they're trying to, I guess, do a little bit of backpedaling and claim that this is some kind of an irregularity. This was something that was unintended.
Yeah, right. I went to Pro Flowers because I heard all these radio shows talking about this great deal. And I decided to get some stuff. So the code, in the upper right-hand corner on the Pro Flowers website, you can type in a radio code. And I typed in CRN, and it went right to the special. They haven't advertised with us in 8 years. When I went to check out, it said code no longer recognized, but it still kept the same price. So eat your heart out, Sean Hannity and Mark Levin listeners. You can get the same deal by typing in CRN. You don't need to write in Mark or Hannity. I can never spell Hannity anyway, so I always get stuck and can never check out. So it's a couple of exposés, and I'm telling you, this is our Valentine's show, ladies and gentlemen. We're giving you the deals. This is not only romance and what to do at last-minute dining reservations. These are ways around the old checkout counter. You just heard the 800 Flowers Groupon mishap, and now Pro Flowers apparently still giving discounts if you say CRN. Order flowers today often and type in CRN.
By the way, for those of you out there that might be just tuning into the What's Cooking program,
this is the nation's food, wine, restaurant, travel, and entertainment show.
I hate to
heavy on the entertainment, as they were saying in hour one.
No, I regret to inform you, but that means that you might have missed hour number one. Where
can you recap hour one with you and just half of Eric Square?
That the power of E squared wasn't so powerful, but
the first power was pretty damn good this morning, I got to tell you, and you were fine yourself.
No,
what did we miss?
But we had a rather interesting outlook on a wine that is very seldom talked about.
Well, this is the cold duck discussion that occupied most of the second half hour.
One of our listeners brought to our attention a wine, a varietal, I guess, of sorts, called Cold Duck. And
it's a cheap impression of champagne that was made by the Gallo Company many years ago. And they changed the name. Here's the thing.
According to Wikipedia, that is not the story.
What's
Gallo
the story?
has nothing to do with the story.
Really?
Really?
What does Wikipedia say?
Wikipedia.
They're full of it.
Wikipedia gives credit to Harold Borgman, the owner of Pontchartrain Wine Cellars in Detroit.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That takes us back to 1937.
The Cold Duck might have been used at that time in 37, but later on in the 70s, it was 60s and 70s, it was used by Ernest and Julio Gallo. Ernest, the mastermind marketing guy, came up with this. He wanted just to change the name to get people to go for it, so he went with Cold Duck.
But again, Mike, I hate to contradict what you're saying.
I'm telling you, so Wikipedia is totally wrong. I read the Gallo book.
Oh. Well, it says right here,
Gallo be thy name.
They make, on Wikipedia, it makes reference to the 1970s. It says, during the early 1970s, the South Australian company Orlando Wines produced a sparkling red wine labeled Cold Duck. Between 1971 and 1970.
But how did Ernest Gallo steal it? Check that up in your Wikipedia.
There's no mention of Ernest or Julio Gallo. There's no mention of Gallo.
By the way,
wines.
are you having a bad hair day today?
Excuse me?
I just, from a certain view on the camera there, it looks like you may be having one of those bad, a bad hair day. I didn't mean to stop you. I'm sorry. We have our webcam going, ladies and gentlemen. CRNtalk.com. You can check it out. And Paul has been working both hours of the show and has the headphones now in the Robert Conrad, Conrad comfort position where Robert sometimes pushes them. There they go. Now they're in the Robert Conrad. Let's get them over the bald spot of the head position. Anyway, I do believe that Cold Duck, just getting back to it, was Ernest Gallo. But I could be mistaken.
If you read some book that you wish to believe told
Gallo
you
be thy name.
Okay, if you wish to believe that to be thy case, then let that be thy case.
Oh, so now using the thighs because of the Gallo be thy name? Thou speakest from thy Wikipedia.
You know. Would it be at this
Happy
point?
Valentine's Day, everybody. Yes, go ahead. What is that question, Paul?
We could either welcome our guest, I believe, Barbara Drady, to talk about the Pinot Noir Summit.
Yes.
Should we go ahead and do that?
Yeah, bring her in. What are we having her waiting for? This is a great event that's coming.
Your dissertation on Cold Duck.
Barbara, am I correct on this? This was a Gallo product, Cold Duck.
You know what? I hate to do this, but you're both correct.
Oh.
Gallo did do an Andre Cold Duck, but it was first done, I think, out of Detroit.
So Gallo stole it. That's what I was saying. I'm sure because Ernest was.
I don't think you want to use that term, Mike. I really don't think you want to use that term.
He was good. Gallo was
borrowed
was good
at best.
I don't think they ever trademarked it. How's that?
Yeah.
Well,
Gallo used it because it was a great idea.
Yeah,
he
Mike.
Sued his brother Joe Gallo for a lot of stuff and everything. There was a lot of shenanigans going on, but it was a good, strong company.
I don't even know if you want to say that either.
And to this day has flown to the top. It's kind of service to the top under new management, new Gallo family members. But you got to give credit to Ernest and Julio for putting this together and making, helping to craft the wine industry in our country. I mean, the deals were done, but I'm sure that Ernest was carrying a piece back in Chicago in the early years, selling wine for his dad and bulk wine. They were big bulk wine sellers, and he would go back when he was in high school. He'd go back there and he'd have a piece with him and also a gun, and he would go back to Chicago and sell these bulk wine things that they picked and sell it to the bootleggers.
On another day, I would love to tell you some great Gallo stories.
Really?
Barbara?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Barbara, it's Valentine's Day. We get ourselves a nice bottle of Pinot, and you and I sit down and, we'll get over to the Panda Express and have a nice night.
We could even run a little tape, if you know what I mean.
Well, there are some great Gallo stories. However,
and record it.
In the wine industry, Gallo helped build it.
Of course.
So the love goes out to Gallo. Absolutely.
It really
does. They make a good Pinot Noir.
Actually, they are making some very nice Pinot.
That McMurray Ranch is incredibly good. I got to tell you, that is great stuff coming off that old McMurray family ranch there, and that's a Gallo product, and it is great. They do great Zins at Rancho Zabaco. The Gallo label itself is doing some great wines. That's what I'm saying. It's changed over the years.
Yeah, they're doing some very, very nice wine off of some Pinot off of the extreme Sonoma coast.
Ernest used to be the marketing genius. Julio always wanted to do more quality in the wines, and they would always have that kind of a division between the two brothers. And I would say the family has swung more, not so much away from Ernest because he's a genius marketer, and they're still great marketers, but they've added a lot of good quality to it. But the industry has changed. It used to be more of a bulk market. Well, Barbara, thanks so much for being with us.
Please stop it, Mike.
Pinot Noir Summit. Straight ahead, we'll find out about Pinot Noir and the Summit on CRN.
Are you struggling with too much credit card debt, sky-high interest rates, late fees, over-limit fees?